apartment building. And now in the state of New Jersey, 1 to 4 units are considered single family. Even though it's a multi-family property, it's still financing wise, you can do it the same way that you do as a single family. So the same way that you can use your FHA loan to purchase a single family, you can do it for 2 to 3 or 4 units. Once you hit 5 units, you are now floating in commercial water. So you have to go after a commercial loan instead of a regular conventional or FHA loan. And the 4 things that you'll need to buy an apartment, and this is, I'm going to be focusing on apartment buildings because I love multifamilies, but this is any commercial property. This can be the, strip mall. This can be the shopping center. This can be the warehouse. This can be the retail store. This could be anything commercial. Anything commercial are going to follow the same 4 guidelines. But I love multifamilies. I love, residential aspect of it. So we're going to do it on apartment building. But the 4 things that you need is money, credit, experience, and reserves. All right. So, and then, a good deal. As a matter of fact, take out reserves. I'll include that with money. The 4 things that you need to buy an apartment building: money, credit, a good deal. A good deal. That's so important. Having a good deal and the experience. All right. Now, I'll write that down. So, and this is in no particular order, but money, credit, experience, and a good deal. And I'll say why you need a good deal. But going right down the list, some of it is pretty self-explanatory, but at the same time, experience is something that you might not come across often. But money, credit, experience, and a good deal. Now, most people think that they have to do this on their own. Like, they are the only person that has to have money, credit, the experience, and a good deal. When you're dealing with commercial properties, you're not buying this as an entity, as a person. You have the opportunity, you can, obviously, but you have the opportunity to now build an LLC and build partners who have these credentials. You don't have to have all these credentials. You just need to have one. Or, to be honest with you, you don't even have to have any of them. However, when the LLC is established, whoever is going to be the grantor of the loan, that is the head point person, which they're going to be looking at their credit and their personal and their financial history. When you establish an LLC, say we have 4 people. And 4 people, out of the 4 people, you're going to establish one as a grantor, meaning you're going to establish one individual in which the lending company is going to take a real close look at their financial status, of their financial health. So maybe whoever is the head point, whoever is the main person, they're going to be holding that person accountable. All right? Like that. That is the only thing. They are going to be holding that person accountable for that particular loan. Now, although it is under an LLC, they're still going to keep that individual under the microscope. So God forbid, if they were to default on the loan, technically only the LLC is defaulting, but they may have the opportunity to go after the individual who is the grantor on the loan and try to sue him for assets and things like that. But having under LLC protects you. So say that individual out of the 4 people, he was the number 1. He's like, you know what? I'll take full responsibility. You can run my information. You can have my information on file, so on and so forth. If his team has the money, he doesn't have to have it. If his team has the money, the credit, the experience, and a good deal, you're good to go. So technically, this individual can get into a 5, 8, 20, 50, 100, 300 unit apartment building without ever having any one of these qualifications, as long as the people and his team under the LLC provides that opportunity and provides these qualifications. So say in another scenario, say if he was an awesome deal finder. He was able to find a lot of deals. He was able to use his marketing budget to find deals. He comes across an awesome property. This isn't his first go around. He has a lot of experience, but his money is tied up in another project, which is also tied to his credit. But he also knows that he brought a very good deal. At that point, he would only need somebody to handle the money and the credit, whether that's one other person or whether that's 10 other people. The money and the credit portion of that particular scenario has to be satisfied. All right? So, just to give you an idea, no, you don't have to have all of these. You just have to find your teammates under an LLC, under whatever type of business entity, that can provide these 4 characteristics. Other than that, commercial property is asset-based lending. All right? They are not focusing, their main thing is not focusing on, your personal resume per se. They're here to make money on the deal. Unlike your traditional, whether conventional FHA, they're looking at you as the person. When you're buying a commercial property, you are a factor, but their biggest component is, number 1, do we have a good deal? The lending companies won't even lend to you. They don't even, here's how bad it is. If you have awesome credit, $1 million in the bank, and you're purchasing a $400,000 property, at least if you're using leverage, meaning if you're using the bank. If you're paying for the property all cash, you don't have to worry about it. But if you're going to be using the bank, if you have a ton of money, awesome credit, you've done 500 flips in the past 3 hours, if there's not a good deal, they're not going to give you the loan. They're not going to give you the loan. So they're in this for the long haul, and because it's a commercial property, they're banking that, number 1, the money that's coming in from that commercial property, the money that's being generated from the rents of that property, if they're not servicing the debt, meaning if they're not clearing the monthly mortgage, they're going to be extremely reserved about taking on that particular portfolio. Or that particular job, I should say. So even if you have all this, if you don't have a good deal, it doesn't have to be an awesome deal. It doesn't have to be an amazingly spectacular grand slam deal. But it's got to be an efficient deal. And it's got to contain these 4 characteristics. Or you won't be able to get lending. Now, these are the 4 things that you need to actually purchase. When it comes down to where you can find these properties, there are a couple of places. One, you can check online, so we'll put search. You have the MLS. You have CoStar. You have LootNet. These are websites that host commercial properties. Mainly investment properties that are available for sale. Those are the 4 things that you need. And just because it's, a bigger, more daunting task, which, I totally understand because I go through it as well. And, just focusing on going after the big apartment complex. For right now, we're doing extremely well in multifamilies, and I want to kind of continue to build on top of that and build up the rental portfolio. But eventually, when it comes down to apartment buildings, they are in the near future. There was an apartment building, there was a 10-unit building that I wholesaled last August 2018, and I'm kicking myself in the butt because I should have worked a little bit harder on the funding part to try to see how I can secure it. I just looked at the big numbers, and me and my wife were just looking at it like, we don't know how we're going to be able to afford this. And I knew I wanted to sell it, and I got it sold. But if it was up to me, I probably would have looked to, raise a lot more money or work to raise a lot more money to take down that deal. But nonetheless, these are the 4 things that you need to buy an apartment building. If you have all 4, all yours. Your biggest thing might just be establishing the team in order to get it done. And once you have your team in place, as far as your search, MLS, CoStar, LoopNet.com, these are all websites that you can go to start searching for property. And I'll throw this one on there. Agents and other investors. These are other real estate professionals. I mean, the list could go on and on. Mortgage attorneys, your lawyers, your title company, your builder, your councilman, whoever the case. The list can go on and on and on. But for you to get started, all of these are free. Because you can easily put on an advertisement and say, hey, listen, if you're looking to sell your apartment building, let me know. I'm ready to buy. But obviously that costs money. Everything right here is all free, and it just requires a little bit of elbow grease on your part. So time to get to work. That's also a reaffirmation for myself and what we need to do. And we're going to keep the grind on, keep the grind going. If you have a deal and you need funding, let me know. Me and my company, Senior Commercial Capital, we provide funding for these types of deals, and we can get the ball rolling. We lend in 46 states, so reach out to me. Hopefully your state is a state that we can lend on, but we will be lending on all 50 states in the near future, and we'll slowly start to get the ball rolling. Go after these deals, start building this generational wealth, start changing life, and yeah, let's get to it. All day, every day. Austin Smith Real Estate.